Hello, and I'm your host, Cohen Vogel, and this is Saturday Morning Recorded. And our special guest this week is my friend who is on the show for a second time, Abe Wieland. For your weekly tidbit of news, it's that scientists did a study and they saw how dogs' brains react the same way when seeing a person's face as they do to seeing a person's back of their head. Strange, right? Here's our special guest. Here's our special guest, Abe Wieland, for his second interview on the show. Now, for your first question this time, it will be, what was Harvard like?
Well, first of all, I want to say thanks for having me back. It's quite an honor to be on the show for my second time. It was unusual, right? Because I was there in campus in the fall, which was awesome. It was a great experience, but there were still a lot of restrictions because of COVID. So all of my classes were still online, and so I was in my dorm room like 98% of the time. I was able to go down and get meals and stuff, but I had to actually bring them back up and eat them in my room because we weren't allowed to be eating with others and that sort of thing. There was a lot of spaces on campus other than our dorms were closed, just once again because of the COVID stuff. So, and some of that opened a little bit as the semester progressed, but for the most part, things stayed pretty closed. And they've started to open a little bit more now in the spring semester where we have some of the upperclassmen on campus. But really, I'm just gunning for the fall when we're going to have a full return to in-person classes on campus.
Now, what was your favorite class that you took this year?
I probably have to go with, I took a computer science course that was about operating systems. I'm taking that actually right now. It's a course about low-level operating systems on computing, so we're actually designing and we were given sort of a teaching operating system that already had some features, but it's been our job throughout the semester to expand upon the features that are available in the operating system and make it into a more fully fledged operating system. So you guys are all probably familiar with, a lot of people use Windows or Mac OS, right? But there's other options as well, like a lot of people sort of build their own hobby OSs, and that's kind of the sort of thing we're doing.
What is the class that you're looking forward to the most next year?
Next fall, I'll be taking, or plan to take, I guess it's not fully certain yet. We don't actually register. At Harvard, for some reason, we register really late. It's always like basically a couple days before class that you have to actually declare what classes you're going to be taking. But right now, I'm planning to take there's sort of an electrical engineering course about analog electronics that I'm really looking forward to.
While you were on campus in the first semester of the year, did you do any or participate in any extracurricular activities?
Yeah, so I submitted an audition prior to flying out there on horn for the orchestra at Harvard. One of the orchestras, there's actually a couple of them. They're all student-run, but I auditioned into the Harvard Radcliffe Orchestra, which is the sort of most sanctioned one, I guess. We're the only one with like a professional conductor, and we're the only one that... The other ones are sort of smaller student groups that play smaller repertoire as well. So there's like a Baroque orchestra and a sort of classical orchestra that plays a lot of like Mozart and stuff. But we're more interested we're a larger group and play sort of romantic symphonies. But once again, because of the pandemic, it was really weird. It was the first year that it's actually not offered as a class. Usually there's sort of like a 2-credit like little class that you get credit for, and also that means like you can actually get a teacher and all this sort of thing. You can be put in your schedule, and we have dedicated rehearsals. This is all in a normal year you would have that, but just because of the pandemic, we were entirely virtual. So I was actually lucky enough. I got to play just in a brass quintet with a couple other brass people. Well, it wasn't quite a quintet, but like I don't know, there were like 6 of us, and there were too many horns and not a trombone or something. But whatever. It was basically a brass quintet, and so we played some quintet repertoire there, and that was outside in a park when it was still nice out. But then as the semester progressed, we didn't do much playing. We did a little bit of recording where everyone recorded their own part, and we all sent it in, and that's fun, certainly, but it's just really not the same as playing with others.
And then, for your final one, now that you have had the experience of almost complete freshman college year, what is your advice to high school seniors?
Um, I don't know that I'm in a unique position to be offering advice. I suppose there's a lot of cliche things that are actually true. It's some of the things that I was interested in, um, and that really brought me the most joy in my freshman year were taking the classes that I enjoyed. Right. So I know a lot of people go to college and they're like, "Hey, we just got to get like all my requirements out of the way," and there's certainly that's true as well, right? Like everybody has to. There are graduation requirements, but I think you really have the most fun in college by just taking what you enjoy. But on the flip side, you always need to balance your time because last semester and this semester I was a little unwise in choosing my courses. I chose some more strenuous courses that I maybe wasn't fully prepared for, and so it was a really stressful fall and probably even if anything more stressful spring. Um, and so I just really didn't have a lot of fun. But so I would say those are the two things: is take what you enjoy. Certainly, you have to fulfill requirements, but as much as possible, look for the classes that you're going to like because then you're going to enjoy doing them. And then, secondly, just time management is always a huge thing. Just pace yourself. Don't take all of the hardest classes that you can or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's all the time we have for you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Here's Eva's word of the week.
Erudite.
Erudite.
Here's 30 Seconds of Nature. Here's our Take 5. Here's this week's Take 5. So, are you a morning or night person?
I maybe wish that I was a morning person, but I'm definitely a night guy.
How do you like your eggs?
Ooh, probably over easy.
What's your favorite sitcom?
Ooh. I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't think I've seen enough episodes of any one sitcom to say it's my favorite.
And then, have you ever peed in a pool?
I don't remember doing it, but I'm sure, I did, right? When you're a little kid, everybody does it, right?
And then, if you could help an endangered species of animals, what would it be?
My sister's really big with the pangolin, but I think I gotta go with, the axolotl. Just, those little guys are pretty cute.
Thank you. The axolotl is a good choice, but surprisingly, the World Wildlife Fund doesn't actually have a donation area on their website. I don't know why, but of course you can go to plenty other organizations. If you do know an organization that can help out axolotls and other species, you should donate to them too. I just don't know those. So, yeah. For my book recommendation this week, I'm going to be recommending What's the Difference? How to Tell Things Apart That Are Confusingly Close by Mark Tyler Nobleman. This is a pretty good book, and exactly as the subtitle says, it helps you distinguish things that are incredibly similar. Like on the cover here, a dolphin and a porpoise. And those aren't that hard, to distinguish, but I mean, some people think they are. For my adventure this week, we went to the National Bison Museum in Jamestown, North Dakota. And why we went there was because it was my last time going to the orthodontist, and we've been driving by the sign of it every single time. And we thought we should check it out. And it's pretty fun. I'm your host, Cohen Vogel, signing off.